What is going on, YouTube? This is Angel here with the Weekly Wrestling Heat Podcast. I want to thank you guys for checking out today's video. It's actually from our previous week's live show, which we have every Thursday, 8 p.m. Central, right here on this channel. We were discussing AEW Beach Break, and our co-host Matt brought up the topic of whether or not we liked the event names, the special event names that they have every so often. This is kind of our full conversation around that topic. What's most important about today's video is what you guys think. Leave a comment down below. Let us know if you like the names, if you dislike the names. Love to hear from you guys so we can have this conversation and go forward. To do even better, be sure to join our live shows. You can do so by hitting that subscribe button, hitting the notification bell. For now, though, let's get right into the video. Does AEW overuse special event names? So, Elias, go on with your bad take question here before we get into everything.
Oh, this is my question.
I didn't ask that.
This is a terrible question.
This is not a terrible question. This is a legitimate question. I'm legitimately serious. Beach Break. Do we like how they name events like this to make it seem like they are more important than a regular episode?
You meant this in a positive way.
I don't mean it in a positive or a negative. I mean it as a question. I'm being very, very serious. Now, we have been trained as wrestling fans over many millennia to know that when they give a name of an event, it means pay-per-view or importance. Clash of the Champions from back in the day on NWA TV used to do free events. And that's what a lot of what AEW has been doing for a very long time. And AEW did it. And then NXT immediately took the same idea. And we saw it with In Your House, Halloween Havoc, and they did a bunch of special events.
NXT did it first because they had Stand and Deliver.
They did not.
Yeah,
they had Stand and Deliver.
They did not. Takeovers. They did takeovers, which were on Saturdays.
No,
which were
Stand and Deliver wasn't a takeover.
Yeah,
I'm almost positive that the first ones to do it was AEW.
Angel will back us on this too. Angel,
I wasn't watching NXT at that point in time.
I'm like 90% positive that AEW did it first.
More continuous naming of their shows is what Matt's alluding to. They might have done it as one-offs every now and then, but this is like it's becoming more commonplace for it.
And AEW is the first consistent one that actually has done
since the early 70s, since the 70s and 80s, when they used to do it far more regularly, but then it stopped being a thing because of the pay-per-view market and making money off of special named events. It's not a secret that in WWE, there are 4 shows that are named events that matter, and the other ones are just there to be a pay-per-view on that month. That is not a secret. Now. I would say 5 too. I would say 5 to 6. I would say half of the events that we see in most pay-per-view outcomes are important, and the other half are not important. They really legitimately are not, but we still watch them, used to buy them back in the day before like WWE Network and stuff, because we had to see all of it, right? But AEW does it as free TV. Like that Cody Rhodes match was a free television show. I would say the Orange Cassidy one, but I'm only talking about good matches. So we are seeing some very interesting takes with the way that AEW is booking their free television in comparison to their like paid quote unquote pay-per-view stuffs too. So I'm asking the question, and I've ranted far too long. Obviously, I haven't been on the show, so I had to get all that out in one big take like I did. But what's your guys' opinion? I don't necessarily, and this is like a weird question because I don't really have a strong opinion one way or the other. I like them coming up with fun names for their TV shows as a way to signify it with importance. I like it.
When did AEW start doing these special events?
I do not remember what the very first one was.
The first one was Fight for the Fallen.
It was Fighter Fest.
Fighter Fest. Yeah. Fighter Fest. Fight for the Fallen. What is Fight for the Fallen? Is that WWE?
No, Fight for the Fallen was the next time they did it.
It
was Fighter Fest.
Fighter Fest was the first free
on a Wednesday
TV named event. Like it was just Dynamite. It was just Dynamite, but they called it Fighter Fest. But it was just Dynamite.
Correct.
Because the first one actually they did it both at the same time.
They did, but AEW announced it first, and they did it to counter it. That's what I remember happening.
The only thing that NXT did before that was NXT in Japan, which was a special episode where Finn Balor defeated some or I think it was Samoa Joe versus Shinsuke Nakamura, that they did in Osaka, Japan in 2016. Other than that, yes, it was a first. Both of them did it first, but AEW announced it, and then after that,
okay.
they started competing against each other from there.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go. I clearly remember. I think they both did it at the same time because they both knew they were competing against one another.
Yeah.
I think AEW had announced it, and then WWE had already planned it. I don't care what order it was in, but about these names.
Yes, talk about the name.
I think AEW does it because they have 4 months in between pay-per-views.
But do you like it? The question is more the question is more, do you like buy into the hype that because they named this Beach Break, it meant more as a show? That's like that's kind of like the rounded question to it.
I don't buy into it because it felt like a regular episode of Dynamite.
Okay.
So
the name does nothing for you when it comes to like enjoyment or watching it or anything like that.
No.
What about you, Angel?
I think it signifies something special is going to happen, or you're going to get something major that happens. That could be as simple as, hey, there's a pay-per-view quality match that's going to happen on TV, guys.
I agree.
That ladder match, let's be honest, that's a pay-per-view match, guys.
100% was. 1 million% it was. That was my best of the week of wrestling that I wasn't here to tell you guys about, but I'm sure Angel got me covered.
He did.
We mentioned it, and then we were going to talk about it in full here. But yeah, I think it just signifies something important is going to happen.
Okay. Maybe so, but he will buy we will do a raffle for a Tiffany shirt from NXT at 100 subs on YouTube.
If you don't have one, I'll get you a Tony D'Angelo or something. Someone that I like.
Yeah, Tony D'Angelo. Huh?
We will get you an NXT. You know what? Why don't we do an NXT shirt giveaway for 100 subscribers?
There we go. Let's do that. Let's do that.
Okay.